Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. We're taking a quick peek here at Solana, seeing what's going on. We're going to talk about this descending trend breakthrough, as well as Bitcoin breaking through its key level resistance at 95,000. Has a lot of liquidation above the price, and it's a very big continuation with a strong likelihood of further upside with this extra amount of volume. Liquidation long delta super high. These are all things you don't generally want to just short into at first discovery, right? Keep in mind, we got a lot of resistance at 97,000 for Bitcoin with that macro point of control. So we're going to talk about how that factors into Solana and kind of go from there and just recognize the best practice for situations like this. Now, if you are new to the channel, welcome aboard. Hit the like button always so we can continue to grow the channel and get this in front of more people. Unfortunately, a lot of my videos get swept under the rug just because YouTube sucks for the algorithm with just based on how low interaction we have in our videos. So if you keep liking, keep commenting below, I would deeply appreciate it. It will really help us out a lot. So thank you again so much for doing that. When we look at Solana, we can recognize majority of liquidation has been swept. There's a little bit left at 155, upwards of 158 for a diminishing amount there. But the truth is there's not like a lot of incentive for the price to go much higher. There is, however, incentive for the price to go lower, just so you understand. I really don't think we're going to see the 130s at this point. 140 held like a champ. But the key takeaway here is that there's a little bit of liquidation left upwards about, just say round number 160. And then the same thing as 130 below, okay? So we're kind of in the upper range there, more likelihood of further upside because of that. Now, just because liquidation exists doesn't mean that the price is just going to instantly go there. We got to make sure there's other continuation factors present. But when we look here, we can see we're at about 1 billion liquidation long delta. That's a pretty significant shift in momentum from when we were down in the low 140s with basically the same amount of volume to the downside. So we've seen an instant reversal almost with Bitcoin just successfully removing its head from its ass. So now that that's happened, we got to kind of presume that altcoins will continue to surge, but we're going to go ahead and look at altcoin dominance or Bitcoin dominance, both, I guess, and just kind of see where we're at with that. So to clarify though, we got a lot more volume below the price and above. So 150 to 146 seems like a likely new area of consideration if the price were to pull back for adding to your position. Okay. Now, the reason I say that is just because that's the point of control, the open interest range here locally, and it's important to recognize that those are relevant when it comes to retracement. Now, at this point, we can kind of see here that we're maintaining pretty well above our local point of control, our macro point of control. The 120 to 130 range is significantly supportive. Same thing as well with the low 140s. We saw that wick down to 140 and the price just recovered pretty quick. Now, you got to keep in mind Bitcoin also recovered too and didn't break down like it was looking like it should. That's just kind of the general fake out as to how things consistently happen in the market. And Bitcoin was giving us every indication it was supposed to break down, and now it's going straight up. Okay, so it's just kind of something you kind of got to get used to in the market. Majority of the time, you can't take an analysis that's supposed to be fairly consistent. I mean, I would say technical analysis gives you like a 60-70% probability of the price going in that direction. It increases the odds, right? But lately with manipulation, it's very difficult to kind of gauge that. So a lot of times you want to go based on liquidation deltas as well as volume, and those are things that speak pretty loud. Right now, though, if we look at the overall sentiment, volume isn't very high on the daily. Okay, so we're still kind of low. So this could, I wouldn't say this is a fake out per se, but it's not a strong push. We need more volume to kind of sustain and continue higher. We're also getting closer to 70 in the RSI, which isn't a problem. It's just like a tentative resistance, but we're not quite there. We're actually in the sweet spot here where you see the price action of the RSI and the money flow index kind of hanging out in that good little spot. We've also got a stochastic swing with the MACD kind of still converging. So once more, it's not phenomenal, but it's definitely a lot better than most other altcoins right now. And if we kind of look at this price action, we compare it to Bitcoin, it's done pretty well, even though it had like a bearish type of pattern. So it kind of had this bearish rectangle situation going on there, or sorry, more importantly, like a bull flag where the price action works its way down and essentially broke through its key level descending trend. So the important thing here is that we have a descending trend here that has been broken. So hypothetically, the price will come down and retest that level and go higher, or it may just continue upwards based on the simple fact that we have our local point of control at that 151, and a lot of folks are adding to their position at that level. So once more, that kind of reinforces itself here if you look at open interest too. Okay. So all that being said, these are all very positive signs. We're not like overextended whatsoever. We got a nice convergence here. We're back up over 50 on the RSI. These are all very good indications that we're back on track here and we're more likely to go higher than lower. Only thing I would like to see is just consistently high volume for the next couple of candles. And at that point, if we can see that, then we're going to be in good shape. But once more, Bitcoin potentially pulling back here soon. If that were to happen, then Solana would likely pull back to its local support of 146. That was supposed to have held as a resistance, but it didn't because obviously it continued higher. But that's because Bitcoin broke through its key level of 95,000. So when Bitcoin breaks through its local range, you can expect altcoins to continue to move with it. At least the good ones. So not every one of them have, but for the most part, we're starting to see that. So at this point, I would say you're more safe to take a long versus a short. There's a lot more confirming factors that the price should go up. Just bear in mind that Bitcoin is at its resistance range of 97,000. And even though there's a tremendous amount of volume, which is usually a good indication, there's still a lot of manipulation potential where the price could pull back. But I'm feeling like Bitcoin's going to sustain the 97 to 98K range. And if so, alts are just going to continue to go up. So that's kind of where I'm at. I hope my 2 cents helped you. If you can, please, again, like, subscribe, follow. Make sure to my community here, if you are using Bitunix or if you want to consider it, there's a nice deposit bonus for the next 2 weeks. So just take advantage of this. It's really easy money. It's nothing super substantial you don't have to worry about. Just go ahead and take advantage of that. And all the links are below if you're not familiar with that yet. They're a really good exchange, no KYC or VPN required. More important though, I think you do and should consider joining us over on Twitter, Telegram, Discord, now TikTok as well. And consider checking those out. I got a lot of shorts, a lot of good updates here for you. Make sure you're on track with everything. So I hope you learned something. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one out there. Take care.